Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's Meriden Harris of the podcast show called Creating an Impact. So I'm so welcoming that you've tuned in and listened in to see what's going on with us today. Uh, Today, my guest is Professor Rio. We've been going back and forth for quite a long time, and we finally get actually able to connect. So welcome, Dr. Rio, and I'm so glad for the conversation that we're going to have today. Yeah. So maybe you
Yeah,
could tell us a little bit about yourself and what you want people to know about you.
okay. Thank you. Thank you for having me, and
Hmm.
thank you for giving me this opportunity. I think we have been having a discussion on LinkedIn for a few
Yep.
years.
Hmm.
Now things fell into the place, and the universe has brought all people, and we have made the things fall into the place. So
Yeah.
thank you for this opportunity. I think after 3 or 4 years, we got this
Yeah.
opportunity to hopefully
Yeah.
will cross our paths.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
for
you are
sure.
in California and I'm in Seattle. Okay, so
Yeah.
let me briefly introduce myself. My
Hmm.
name is Professor M.S. I have
Hmm.
authored 53 books,
Ah.
including the award-winning book titled "See the Light in You," for which
Hmm.
the Nobel laureate His Holiness Dalai Lama has it in a foreword. I have 43 years of diversified experience, including Indian Air Force, business, teaching, and training. And I'm a late bloomer, dyslexic, AD, HD, OCD, and add to that, I had a brain stroke in the year 2021, and I have mental challenges, physical challenges, and financial challenges. And
Hmm.
I don't have any two-wheeler. I don't have four-wheeler. I don't get any pension. I don't have any regular income. I'm 61 years old,
Hmm.
and I was born into a toxic family and grew up in a toxic environment.
Yeah.
Despite all these challenges, I rose from the ashes like a phoenix.
Yeah.
In fact, my right portion of the body was totally paralyzed in the year 2021. And I was on the bed and I did some physiotherapy exercises. And I started walking, but still I'm not comfortable.
Hmm.
And I have a chronic internal allergies, and
Hmm.
I have a chronic back pain for more than 17 years because of my continuous writing.
Hmm.
So lots of challenges I'm having,
You're right.
and so I'm. The good news is that I'm recovering, and
Hmm.
the good news is that I'm making, adding value and impacting the people. This is what
Hmm.
I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I'm amazed of how many books that you've written, and you still continue to write and talk to people about, your situation and what you do and how you can impact others. So I think
Yeah.
that's so important. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me a little bit, before this accident or before your health challenge came up, can you tell us a little bit about what you were doing and what you hope to continue to do? So,
Actually, I joined. I was born on October 31st,
mm-hmm,
1963,
mm-hmm,
a tiny village in India.
mm-hmm,
And for 18 years, my childhood was very chaotic and very toxic family background.
mm-hmm,
And my father was disorganized, and my mother is a disaster, and my siblings are problematic. So lots of challenges I had, and then again at the age of 18, I joined Indian Air Force, and I was lucky that I joined Indian Air Force, and I
mm,
developed a positive attitude, and I grew as a leader.
right.
Then again, don't think that I was an officer in the Indian Air Force. I was an airman. I served in the lowest rank of a corporal in the Indian Air Force, and for 12 years. And I did business for a few years, which didn't work out. And my father-in-law and brother-in-law invited me to join for business, but they backstabbed and betrayed. So I landed in problems. Then again, in the year 2007, I became a faculty member and joined for PhD. And when I had lots of financial problems, I became a faculty member. So the education helped me
Mm-hmm,
to overcome the challenges. And then I became a faculty member the year 2007. Then I joined for PhD. And then again, I became an author in the year 2010, and
Mm-hmm.
I published 53 books. And in fact, I wrote 60 books, but for the seven books are still pending, and I have to
Mm-hmm.
write. But I am not able to type with my right hand,
Yeah.
and I am not able to eat with my right hand, so it's very problematic.
Yeah.
So I have to recover. Then I will complete my pending
Mm-hmm.
proposals,
Mm-hmm.
and publishers are coming forward to publish, but my health is not permitting.
Right.
That's one thing. And finally, I want to write a book, tentatively titled Survivor. So where I would like to share my brain stroke challenges,
Mm-hmm.
betrayals, then again toxic family, and resilience, tenacity, and through storytelling, I would like to share. And this is what I am planning. Hopefully, I have to recover first. Then I will write a book, tentatively titled Survivor. And I read thousands of books in my lifetime, and
Mm-hmm.
two books are very close to my heart. They are Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, and the second book is about Art of the War, because I'm an Indian Air Force veteran.
Mm-hmm.
So these two books influenced me. Then I'm a voracious reader, and I'm very curious and creative by nature. And so still I do a lot of research, and I integrated soft skills with leadership and coined a new leadership perspective, that is soft leadership.
Mm-hmm.
So like this, I keep doing things despite
Right.
financial challenges, mental challenges.
Yeah.
This is how I am leading right now. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know where I will go to the next. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me a little bit, some of your books that you've written. Tell us a little bit about those books, the topics and what you hope to gain by people reading them.
Yeah, I wrote. I never stick to any particular genre, and whatever flashed on my mind, I maintain a couple of documents for triggers,
Mm-hmm.
then research, then various things I write down on my documents, and I write
Mm-hmm.
books. Then I started writing books on self-help. Then
Yeah.
I wrote about teaching, training. Then I wrote books on soft skills. Then I
Mm-hmm.
wrote a book on diversity and
Mm-hmm.
uh, and mindfulness. And
Mm-hmm.
I wrote about diversity. I wrote a book titled "Strategies to Build Women Leaders Globally." For
Mm-hmm.
that book, the former Vice President of India, Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, has written a foreword. And this book I have dedicated to Rosa Parks, Oprah Winfrey,
Yeah.
Maya Angelou. This is the book I have dedicated to them.
Okay.
And the book title, once again, I am telling you, that is Strategies to Build Women Leaders. This
Mm-hmm.
is about women. Then again, I wrote a book about mindfulness, that is See the Light in You, for which His Holiness Lama has written a foreword.
Mm-hmm.
So like this, I keep exploring different areas. I don't stick
Right.
to one particular genre. I don't stick to one particular place. I keep my mind keeps
Keeps busy.
keep keeping myself busy, and I
Yeah.
explore different things. I don't stick to, and I acquired six qualifications before PhD.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, DME, BSc, MA, MBA, PGDC, LLM, PGDM. All these six qualifications I acquired through private education.
Right.
And I was in Indian Air Force, and at the age of 18, I joined Air Force. Means I acquired all qualifications, all different qualifications. But whatever the opportunities I got, then I availed. So lots of challenges, but
Mm-hmm.
I utilized my opportunities and
Mm-hmm.
acquired six qualifications. The only consistency is that I continue acquiring knowledge, and I keep sharing my knowledge. And I
Right.
have four blogs and
Right.
three YouTube channels, and I
Mm-hmm.
am strong on LinkedIn and
Mm-hmm.
various other social media
Yeah.
platforms. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. So, what are you going to do? You're just going to continue writing books and educating people, right? On what
Yeah,
you've
correct,
written, right?
correct. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Yeah. 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 Cool. So, what's the latest book you're promoting or you want people to read?
Latest, there are a couple of books because it's not one book I have written,
Yeah.
53 books. It's very difficult for me to remember all the books. So the one book which is very close to my heart is
Yeah.
See the Light in You, and this book
Mm-hmm.
talks about mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Actually, why I wrote this book was that some 5 years back, 6 years back, students were committing suicides, and the suicide rates
Yeah.
were
Pretty
shooting
bad.
up in
Yeah.
India, and of course, there is mental illness globally, and people have this Alzheimer's disease, which is related to dementia. Then
Mm-hmm.
I started writing some chapters. Whatever the triggers I got, I made them into chapters. Then I made my own book,
Right.
and I talked various aspects like monkey mind, then
Yeah.
again distractions, so social media, then leadership, then how organizations are impacting to mindfulness. All these
Mm-hmm.
things I integrated and I wrote a book.
Yeah.
Then
So
what
why do you
happened?
think mindfulness is so important?
It's very much required, mindfulness, because it is very much required. Why? Because we have to be mindful, because people often think about their unpleasant past.
Mm-hmm.
Research shows that people waste 30% of their precious time by thinking about the unpleasant past, which will never come. So people
Mm-hmm.
think about excessively about the future that we can't predict.
Right.
So we should learn to live in the present. That's about mindfulness.
Right.
So this is the area I'm currently focusing
Mm-hmm.
mindfulness. And
Mm-hmm.
then again, what happened? I wrote a book. Then His Holiness Dalai Lama has written a foreword for this book,
Mm-hmm.
and I requested him to write a foreword. Then he asked me to send the entire manuscript. Then I
Mm-hmm.
shared the entire manuscript with His Holiness Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
Then he read, then approved, then he has written a foreword. This is
Mm-hmm.
my journey with His Holiness Dalai Lama,
Right.
and this is about mindfulness.
Right.
And currently, I am emphasizing on mindfulness because lots of challenges now in US or India or everywhere, young people they're totally distracted.
Right.
There
Yeah.
is
So to
a
me,
lack of focus.
mindfulness to me also means is being conscious what you're thinking and saying, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Right. It's like you were saying, living in the present moment,
yeah. Correct,
what's
correct.
going on now.
Yeah,
And like you're saying, we can't predict the future.
yeah.
So maybe so how else can we live? How does one do mindfulness if they've
Yeah,
never done it
correct.
before?
Correct, correct. Especially what happened after the brainstorm. Before before COVID, I was taking everything for granted.
Yeah.
But so let me tell you honestly. So after brainstorm,
Yeah.
first lockdown, I mean, when the COVID was declared by World Health Organization in the year
Right.
2019, and we didn't take pandemic very seriously
Mm.
in 2019. Then
Mm-hmm.
gradually the COVID cases spiked up, and it became very challenging. And
Mm-hmm.
more than 50 lakh people died in India alone
Mm-hmm.
because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Because India is the largest populated country in the world, so many cases. So somehow I overcame the challenges, and I gave more and more interviews at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Then I became a victim during the second lockdown in India. Then I fell down, I collapsed, and luckily my wife took me to hospital, and my elder son was there,
Yeah.
and so somehow I survived. Otherwise, I would have been dead literally, but I survived because some divine force, and because I'm
Yeah.
living with some purpose. So when I have a strong purpose, I will live with. I will lead forward despite the health challenges. So there is some purpose that keeps driving me. There is some
Right.
spark that keeps driving.
Yeah.
So because of that, I survived, and because of that, still I am moving forward.
Right. Right. Yeah. So you think that your mindfulness is keeping you moving forward, right?
Yeah, correct. Rightly said. Rightly
Yeah.
said. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you
So
for empathizing.
yeah, it's just sort of like the mindfulness is of being present with ourselves, holding space for others as well as holding space for ourselves, because things do happen in life. Like you were saying, you had a a brain
Brainstroke.
aneurysm, stroke, and
Mm.
you've had, you had COVID too, did you say?
Yeah, I had a
Mm.
COVID.
Yeah,
My wife and I had COVID.
yeah,
Uh, then what happened? My wife recovered from COVID. I was also about to recover from
right,
COVID. Then suddenly I collapsed and I had a brain hemorrhage and
right,
brain stroke. Then I
right,
was on the bed. For 1 year, I had challenges. I started walking because of my positive psychology
right,
and because of my willpower.
yeah,
And there is some divine force that is driving me.
right,
So
right,
that's why I have come up to this level. Otherwise, I wouldn't be there in this planet.
right,
So
right. Yeah, but
I'm
that's
great.
yeah, but as you're saying, the mindfulness, there's divine energy focusing, sparking your brain, saying, "Hey,
Yeah,
get up, keep
yeah,
moving,"
yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
And don't
Yeah,
stop. So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
the mindfulness is part of connecting to that divine force, if you will, or spark, as you say, to
yeah,
help you be
yeah,
more present.
yeah. And I agree with you. Why? Because when I had collapsed on the after the brain stroke, then
Hmm.
within my brain, I didn't know what was happening,
Yeah,
and I had a brain fog, and I had blood vision. I was stammering, so lots of challenges.
yeah,
Then when I collapsed, then what happened? Then I was telling internally, just yes, I am all right, I am all right, I am all right. That's what I was telling.
yeah,
So I started feeding my subconscious mind.
yeah,
So that helped me to revive. So no medicine will work, only the power of subconscious mind.
right,
And I already programmed.
right,
And when I collapsed, I was thinking, yes, I am all right, I am all right. So I was
yeah,
telling to myself because I was not able to speak also.
right.
But that power of subconscious mind, as you put it rightly, that helped me to bounce back.
Yeah, right, right. Well, I'm so glad that you bounced back and you're here with us,
Yeah, thank
doing
you.
your work and writing and continue to educate and making impact on
Yeah,
individuals that maybe have similar stories to
yeah,
yours. And maybe they have friends or family that are going through this and they don't understand it, right?
yeah,
So, because, our medical profession does so much, right? But the rest of us has to come from us, right? Or
yeah, correct.
people we hang out with or get educated in that regard. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that story. And I will have this information, your story out there
Yeah.
within the next week or so. But I'm so glad that we're able to connect and you're able to come onto the show. So I so appreciate your time and wish you very healthy well.
And I'm very happy that you gave me this wonderful opportunity. I
Yeah,
think
you're welcome.
we were having conversation for 3 years. I don't
Yeah.
remember exact the years,
Yeah.
but things were not falling into place.
Yeah.
So only when things fall into place, then things will then we will achieve the desired outcomes.
Yeah.
So so some spiritual forces uh, brought you and me together.
Yeah.
That's why we are having this beautiful conversation,
Right.
and together we are impacting the world.
Right. Right.
We both are impacting the world.
Yeah.
Together we are impacting the world.
Yeah.
And I thank you. I express my gratitude to you
Yeah.
for this
For sure.
wonderful opportunity and your kindness.
Hmm.
Your kindness matters, and you are
Yeah.
too kind and you are too compassionate. So really, I respect you a lot.
I don't want
Yeah.
to be too much.
No, you are very kind. I know. Because I watched a couple of videos.
Yeah.
Whenever I get interviewed, I'm very committed and dedicated. What I do for one
Hmm.
to 2 days, I at least I will watch around 5 to 10 videos of that particular host
Right.
to understand how things are happening.
Yeah.
So that because I have to justify what I am doing. So
Right.
I worked very hard. Then I aligned my thinking towards your goals. Your
Hmm.
goal is kindness matters, right?
Right. Right.
So my interview resonates with your goals and objectives of kindness. So that's why we are aligned,
Yeah.
and and together we are impacting. And I think the people will enjoy this story.
Right.
And because I create stories and share my stories to impact humankind.
Right.
Because if one of the stories
Hmm.
impacts, that serves my purpose.
Right.
If you cast a stone on water, you get
Mhm.
ripple effects.
Right.
So too many tiny drops will become a mighty ocean. Like
Yeah.
I admire Mother Teresa very much,
Mm-hmm.
and I often talk about various leaders like Peacefulness Dalai Lama, Mother Teresa. Then again, I talk about Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, and these kind of leaders I was very much influenced. Then and Abraham Lincoln has been my inspiration since my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So I often refer about these leaders in my books, either directly or indirectly.
Yeah.
And I am what I am. I am a product of my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
61 years of my life that includes my observation and book reading and
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very happy that I'm
Yeah.
sharing my story, and I'm very happy that you have given me this opportunity
Yeah.
to
Oh,
share
you're
my
so
story.
welcome. You're so welcome. I'm glad we're able to connect
And life
and
is
get
an
going.
echo. Life
Yeah.
is an echo,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So whatever you give, it will come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now we will share this story and
Yeah.
inspire.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. Well, thank you, Dr. Rowe. I'm so appreciative of your time, and thank you for giving me your time. It's really appreciated.
With gratitude.
Yeah. Thank you so
Have
much.
a great day. Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.